The Comelast system is particularly suited to restoration work and lofts, and anywhere with a reduced head height. It is also increasingly being used in new constructions where energy rating counts thanks to the low thermal inertia and the possibility of working dynamically both for heating and air conditioning. The support layer on which the Comelast EPS panel will be glued onto needs to be flat, consistent, and completely smooth. Any differences in height need to be dealt with in advance using suitable leveling products. Lay the perimeter strip along the entire perimeter of the location, on the walls and on any vertical elements that protrude from the support layer. Its continuity will need to be guaranteed even in correspondence with the entrance thresholds and French doors, if there are any. The upper part of the strip that sticks above the level of the floor will only be trimmed when the covering work has been completed. It is advisable to position the Comelast EPS panels, at least the parts near the collector and in the areas where the pipes pass, before the final gluing on the foundation. Numbering the panels with a felt pen once they have been laid might come in useful to make it easier at the final installation stage. The Comelast system, as it is equipped with an extremely reduced static weight, needs to be firmly fixed for long-lasting effect to the existing base. We suggest, therefore, that you apply the panels using Comisa B-bond glue, applying it with serrated trowel for full embedding. This particular application allows the panel to adhere perfectly to the foundation and bypass the problem linked to its imperfect planarity, if present. This is a hypoallergenic, two-component thixotropic adhesive, free of solvents, which develops a perfect balance between adhesion strength and elasticity on any type of foundation. Comisa B-bond is prepared by using a helical whisk at a low speed to mix part A and part B, which acts as a catalyzer, following the pre-measured ratio of the containers. Pour part B into the bucket containing part A, taking care to homogeneously mix the two parts using a helical whisk until you have a mixture that is uniform in color and consistency. Failure to comply with even one of these conditions of use given above can lead to insufficient gluing. Evenly apply Comisa B-bond to the foundation using a suitable serrated trowel and lay the Comelast EPS panels on the layer of fresh adhesive compound, placing sufficient pressure on it to ensure complete uniform contact with the adhesive and avoiding it rising along the edges of the elements. The time it takes for the first application of glue to dry is normally about 2 hours. If considerable care is taken, it is generally possible to walk on the panels while the glue is still drying. If the temperature drops, the time extends considerably. In any case, we advise that you avoid gluing when temperatures are below 5 degrees Celsius, and generally, laying the pipes must be done after the glue's final hardening time of about 24 hours. Important: when laying the panels, check that the pressed canals match with each other in order to avoid interference when laying the piping. It may be necessary, when operating, to produce new pipe carrying canals to create a complete circuit, especially where the pipes are joined to connect to the collector or to create particular curves or paths that were not pre-traced on the panel but inserted in the design tables provided by the installer. The pipe carrying canal can be created by cutting the panel with an electric Stanley knife, specific for creating sections compatible with piping measuring 12 by 1.3 millimeters in diameter. First, trace the canal with a felt pen on the surface of the panel, compatible with the radius of curvature of the piping. Insert the piping in the duct created, checking that it is completely immersed in the EPS panel. When laying is complete, tape the ducts with adhesive aluminum tape. This operation allows for the piping to be kept in the canal, ensuring the EPS protection of the panel at the same time during the shaving and gluing of the covering with the Comelast product. Vacuum the ducts and the panels in advance in order to remove any work residue that could interfere with the laying. When laying the pipe, proceed by laying the piping by starting from the distribution collector. Pay particular attention to pipe insertion into the molded ducts of the Comelast EPS panel, so as to have a perfectly flat surface with no dips, owing to pipes being only partially inserted. The system is compatible for laying tiles directly, even large and very large tiles and those of different types. For example, stoneware, terracotta, clinker tiles, slabs of low thickness, marble and natural stones, which are easily stainable for water absorption. Once the floor heating system is installed and pressure tested, continue with laying the covering. The heating system needs to be turned off, especially when laying the tiles. Consider the size of the covering, the site timings, and above all, the fact that there can be absolutely no spaces between the Comelast EPS panel and the covering. After installing the tubing, therefore, prepare the Comelast glue smoothing compound by mixing the two components, A plus B, that come in the container. Then smooth the panel using the serrated trowel and immediately lay the flooring. After a period of 4 to 5 hours, you can proceed with the final grouting of the flooring, thus completing installation of the system that is now ready to be put into use. All the instructions for proper laying are available and to be requested strictly and in advance from the Comisa Energy Technical Office. Laying pre-finished parquet, especially floating, is also allowed. You proceed to smooth the system with Comelast glue, and once the product has hardened, you can continue by placing sound-absorbing mats suited to be paired with radiant floor heating systems, and then by arranging the planks. Given the large number of finishes available on the market, the laying process in any case must always be agreed upon with the flooring provider, layer, and construction management. For the conditions of using pressure and testing, refer to the regular testing conditions for radiant heating systems, as stated by Regulation UNI-EN 1264.